Hello friends, I am Dr. Deepak Garg. I am an orthopedic surgeon and today we will discuss about the meniscal injuries. Let's first talk about the classification of meniscal injuries. There can be longitudinal tears, means the tear along the long axis of the meniscus. Then there can be the transverse tears, means the tear along the axis perpendicular to the long axis. Then there can be longitudinal as well as the transverse tears. Then there can be tears associated with the discoid menisci. Then there can be tears associated with the cyst within the menisci. So the certain people are at high risk for the menisci tear. For example, you may have the discoid menisci, then the cyst within the menisci are at a higher risk for the meniscus tear. Then the age-related degeneration within the menisci are at higher risk. Then if there is a alteration in the mechanical axis or the weight transmission axis through the knee, then the medial meniscus is at a higher risk of tear. Then there can be certain neuromuscular disorders where the muscle around the knee are weak. Then the menisci are at a higher risk of tear. So what is the mechanism of meniscus tear? So let's say we already know that the menisci move with the tibia during the flexion and the extension, and with the femur during the rotations. Let's take a situation where say the femur the knee is in flexion, say around 45-50 degrees. So the menisci is moving with the tibia during the flexion. Now if there is a rotation of the femur, then the menisci will try to move along the femur. During the internal rotation, medial menisci, during the flexion and the medial rotation, certainly the posterior part of the medial menisci will be at a stretch. So at this situation, if there is a sudden hyperextension, so the menisci will be stuck between the femur and the tibia. So there is a very high chance of getting a posterior horn of the medial menisci tear. So this is a common situation during the football playing. So there is a flexion and there is an internal rotation force on the femur, and there is a sudden hyperextension when we kick the football. So there are very high chances of getting a longitudinal tear along the posterior horn of the medial meniscus, and if that longitudinal tear is displaced, that will become the bucket handle tear. So how will the patient present to the OPD? Patient may have the pain, may have the swelling, may have decreased range of motion in the knee, may have locking. Locking is usually present in the longitudinal tears, may have snapping, may have clicking, may have giving way, may have instability. The instability is because we already know that the most of the weight is borne by the posterior meniscus during walking. So if there is a tear of the posterior horn of the medial meniscus, that weight distribution within the knee is affected, because we already know that there is no attachment of the posterior horn to either ACL, PCL or femur. It has attachment only with the tibia just posterior to the intercondylar eminence. So if there is a tear, that weight distribution from the menisci to the tibia is affected. So patient may have a feeling of instability. So on examination, we can have a joint effusion, we can have a tenderness, we can have decreased range of motion, we can have a muscular atrophy, specifically the quadriceps muscle atrophy. So if we suspect a meniscal tear, then we go for an X-ray to see any bony changes, and then we go for MRI. MRI is more than 90%, usually 98-99% sensitive and specific for menisci injury. Means it is almost diagnostic of menisci injury. We can take our decision on MRI. So and if we still have some dilemma, we can go for our diagnostic arthroscopy, that is 100% confirmatory. So now if we talk about the treatment, so if there are minimal symptoms and incomplete tear are usually on the inferior surface of the menisci than on the superior surface. So if there is an incomplete tear with minimal symptom, we can conserve it. So if there is a stable peripheral tear with a displacement of less than 3 mm and there are not much symptoms, then also we can conserve it. So what is the conservative treatment? We keep the patient in a cylindrical cast or a knee immobilizer for 4 to 6 weeks, and we make the patient toe touch weight bearing with walker for 4 to 6 weeks. So this is how we conserve the meniscal tear. Then if the tear is unstable, or if there is a wide displacement, or there are severe symptoms, the day-to-day life is affected, then definitely we go for surgical intervention, and we go for either arthroscopic repair or arthroscopic debridement. Arthroscopic procedure is a treatment of choice for surgical interventions. So this was all about the meniscal injuries. Thank you guys, thank you very much.